In our last video, I talked briefly about diffraction gratings and CDs and why we see the different colours that we see on those. That's all well and good, but what's it actually used for? What do scientists use diffraction gratings for? Well, what we have here is a very nice homemade spectroscope. Now, spectroscopy is the process of analysing waves to see what they're made from, to figure out what sort of things are producing those waves. It's very useful for astronomy. If we look at the light from stars, we can do spectroscopy on that light, or using that light, I should say, and that can tell us what those stars are made from, which is far easier than flying out there and testing it ourselves. So it gives us a lot of information about the world around us. Now, the CD process that we saw before, gave you an overview of how it works, but it wasn't very precise. It didn't give us very sort of clearly defined measurable data. But our spectroscope here, designed by Professor Wakabayashi from the National Museum of Nature and Science in Japan, simply uses a fragment of CD and a little bit of tin foil, and what it does is it takes in light through a very small slit, reflects it onto the CD at just the right angle to get the diffraction, and then allows you to look through there and see the spectral lines. And with that, you can actually do proper science. Now, if you want to make one of these yourself, you can just go to our website, print it off. It's double-sided, or you can just print out 2 sheets of one-sided and stick them together. But what this allows you to do is to look at different light sources and see the spectral lines that make them up. And the thin slit gives you a very narrow sample, which allows it to be separated out more, so you can more clearly see the difference between different lines. So if we look outside, we should see a nice continuous spectrum. If we have my phone again and look at the LED, hopefully what we see there is a very clearly defined red, green and blue, showing us again that the LEDs aren't actually white, it's just 3 separate LEDs next to each other, sufficient to fool our eyes.